This is EA Play. We're here on Xbox Series X taking a look at just what this subscription service has to offer. Be sure to like the video, subscribing is great as well. And if you are grabbing EA Play, or better off even Xbox Game Pass, consider using my affiliate link in the video description, as it'll take you to the Microsoft Store and it supports the content and the work that I do. So EA Play has been available on Xbox for quite a while at this point, and it's actually something that I've been subscribed to from day one. It's something I actually found value in, and it's an interesting service. So I'm here to kind of take a look at it as it is now in, the current year. So you get benefits, you get rewards, instant access to EA's collection of titles for Xbox One, Xbox Series X, and Xbox Series S. Plus, you get to try new titles with 10-hour trials of those games. You also get a 10% discount on EA digital purchases across all their stuff, from full games to season passes to DLC and more. You can also leave at any point. You can enjoy jumping in for like a month-to-month thing. There's a yearly thing. Or if you do have Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, which is the method I suggest, using this for, you do get all of this included as part of that. That being said, if for whatever reason you just want EA Play, there's actually a lot to enjoy here. I think there's something like just about 100 titles. So let's dive in and take a look at what this great and constantly growing / I guess also shrinking library of games has to offer. So yeah, like I said, I've been kind of with this since day one. It's been a great way for me to be like, well, I don't know if I wanted to buy like a sports title. I'll just wait till it ends up on, EA Play, which typically happens like with NFL, typically get that on EA Play as of like when the Super Bowl happens. FIFA, it's usually midsummer. NHL, it's around playoffs. So this is one of those subscription libraries where I have noticed this stuff does tend to disappear over time, particularly the sporting titles. We look at something like, say, FIFA. I've literally seen it where, like, I think FIFA 15 used to be on here, and 15 got removed, and 16, then 17, then 18, then you know what I mean, like all those titles. Same with Madden. There used to be Madden 25 and 16 and 17 and 18, and they do get removed over time as licenses and everything like that. They even used to have McIlroy's PGA Tour, which looks like that disappeared too at some point down the road, which was interesting. So let's take a look at what there is to offer. So we've got Alice is a really great game. It's a platformer. Anthem is basically dead, but you can play it. And if things are like FPS boosted or resolution improved or anything like that, those features are all present in this subscribed library of titles. And if you happen to own a game and you leave the service, all of your saves and everything are still present. So yeah, you got the Battlefield experience. You get like the Premium 2, you get the Revolution with this one, and then you've got Battlefield 2042, whether you want it on the Xbox One or the Series XS. And you also have classic titles, so that's kind of a neat part of this library too, is you've got the 360 games and even the original Xbox titles, like with Black, which is a classic shooter. But yeah, you got all your Battlefields, and I believe Bad Company 1 and 2 should be leaving soon, as those are getting delisted down the road, which is a bit of a shame. They're very, very good games. But yeah, you get all of the Battlefield games, the whole compilation of the shooter options, whether you want to do single player or the multiplayer, those are present. You get classics like Bejeweled, and as I mentioned, Black. You've got Burnout Paradise Remastered, you've got the original 360 Crisis titles, Dante's Inferno, which is a great sort of hack and slash old school God of War type of thing. Then you've got your Dead Spaces, the original Dead Space 1, 2, and 3. And then down the road, you'll also have the Dead Space remake because, like with these titles, eventually, usually 6 to 8 months or so is that sweet spot where games get added to EA Play. Also, if you Game Pass Ultimate, it's the same sort of inclusion, right? So yeah, eventually all the titles that EA releases will end up on this service. So that's pretty great if you're not in necessarily a rush, and if you are, you do get a DL2, which is kind of nice. Then we've got our Dirt titles, and that's for now. I believe there are plans to either delist or get rid of Dirt over time, but for now you can enjoy, Dirt 4, 5, and the Rally Dirts, which are really good. Then you've got your Dragon Ages. You know, I think the whole series, yeah, FPS boosted, which is nice. Origins 2, Inquisition. You've got Fee, which is kind of a neat game, because you also get EA and EA sort of like, I guess you would say, like original type offerings too, usually make their way onto this. You got your classic Feeding Frenzy games, so you get a variety of things. Like EA, they're mostly sports titles, you know, a couple shooters, but they do have a number of family type titles. And then you got your F1 games, you got your FIFAs, Fight Night Champion, classic sort of boxing. You've got your grid games, which I believe are also supposed to meet the same fate as Dirt down the road. You know, It Takes Two, which is great for co-op. Lost in Random, which is a quirky sort of neat, kind of almost Alice style infused game too. You got your Maddens, you got your Mass Effects, the classic Mass Effects, and Andromeda. And then the classic Mass Effects revamp too, which is kind of nice. They not have Mass Effect 1 on here? Oh, that's weird. That's very weird. And then you've got Medal of Honor Airborne, which I also think is getting listed down the road. And then we've got the Mirror's Edge titles, those two games, great, you know, parkour things. NBA Live, which I think this is the only way to still play NBA Live, I believe, or something. Yeah. You got your Need for Speed games, Hot Pursuit Remastered, which is great, Need for Speed Heat, and you got some older Need for Speeds. Then you've got your NHLs, your arcade NHLs. You got your Peggle, which is great for the young ones. Same with Plants vs. Zombies and Plants vs. Zombie Garden Warfare, which is a great series. Rocket Arena is actually a pretty cool multiplayer game. And then you've got whatever this is for SSX. Oh no, they still do have it on here. Yeah, Rory McIlroy's. Although it might just be View Game. I don't know where that one is. And then you got a couple skate titles. You know, there's just really good variety. And Star Wars, you know, Fallen Order. You got Battlefront. You got Squadrons. You've got the Super Mega Baseball. You know, you got Titanfall. You got the UFC games, as long as those ones are still available. You got Unravel, which are really great, emotionally driven, sort of like platforming games. And Inzuma too. So, like, it's actually a pretty deep catalog of games. I think it really comes down to your sort of interest in, like, sporting games, though, if that makes sense, since so many of these are sporting title related. But it really depends, yeah. Do you find this as value? I personally think the best way to enjoy this is to just grab Game Pass Ultimate. But if you are trying to, you know, kind of play this by itself, EA Play does actually have a good selection of games. Like, this is a great way for you to enjoy, well, basically a good bump up in your library of titles. You also enjoy the magic of, like, hey, there's a new NHL coming, you get 10 hours to see if you like it. Cool. And that progress will carry over to the full game. Same with if like a new Battlefield drops, or like really any of their games. Some of their games, they have like specific sort of limitations on things, but you know, you get 10 hours just to be like, do I like this? Am I interested in this? And I think that's a really great option. And these always appear under your kind of your full library of games. You can go to like EA Play, and you know, you can see recently added. You can see the game trials. You know, you can try these ones out and see if you're into them and what they have to offer for you. So there is a lot that you can enjoy within EA Play as value by itself. And like I did mention, this is something that I've had literally since it started. I converted over to having, you know, full Game Pass Ultimate down the road, or well, I guess recently along the road, but you know, before that, I did even see value in it. You know, I did see that potential being like, well, yeah, it's this, you know, it's my sporting titles when I need them, and I'm not in a rush to get them, or if I want to play them later, or if I want the trials to see if I like the new titles from EA. It's actually pretty good value, and it's not too expensive. You can even get like a good sort of like long-term, I guess, like year type thing too, which is nice. But yeah, I would say that EA Play is something that does actually provide some pretty decent value if it is something of interest to you. And it is something where there's multiple ways to kind of see and access this sort of library of games and see if it is something that is of value to add to your library, or if it's something where it might not be, and that's totally up to the individual. But I think there actually is a pretty healthy selection of games here, and you can jump in, try it for a little bit, and be like, I don't need it. You know, hop in, hop out. That's totally up to you. And again, you know, liking the video is great, subscribing is great as well, and hopefully this helps you decide on your interest of the EA Play service.